Hello, everyone, and welcome to Edge Talk Radio. My name is Angela Zabel. That's me. We are going to be talking about awakening the power of love with author David Cunningham of Pennsylvania. I can't wait to get into this one. Love is what we need nowadays, for sure. So, who am I? I have connected to spirit, working with the team in the non-physical my entire life, sharing messages from a multitude of realms with people. I am a teacher, coach, medium, radio show host, writer, retreat host, gallery reader, doing speaking engagements and offering guidance, mediumship, and intuition with online private and group sessions, classes, and the Amplified Universe monthly membership group. This is growing our connection to us, our world, all that is around us, and our role in it, sharing knowledge with others and working with people around the world. You can pretty much find me on all the social media formats, but check out my website, angelazabel.com. So we are here today with Edge Magazine. Edge Magazine is, I'm going to try to get this set up here. Ooh, I think I've got it. Edge Magazine is the leading events and media resource dedicated to all aspects of holistic health, living, and wellness and the mysteries beyond, sharing information, wisdom, and resources, committed to promoting businesses, organizations, and individuals who support our collective journey to wholeness and balance. Currently distributed in 30 states and Canada, with over 17,000 magazines per printing, and a vibrant online magazine with over 42,000 people reached per month. Have the magazine shipped to your door, stay up to date with the newsletter, become a drop spot, and also check out Kelly Wagner on the Being Curious show. And you can find out more about Edge Magazine at edgemagazine.net. And today, we are here with David Cunningham. He is a renowned transformational teacher, spiritual practitioner, and lifelong advocate for humanity. From humble beginnings in the rural Pennsylvania to leading arguably the #1 transformational program on 6 continents, David's impact spans over 30 years as a senior program leader with Landmark Worldwide, where he helped more than 500,000 people unlock new levels of freedom, authenticity, and love. His leadership has supported communities in healing, executive leaders in evolving, and people from all walks of life in rediscovering what truly matters in their lives. David is a David's life is a testament to courage and service. As a former special education teacher, LGBTQ plus rights advocate, and spiritual guide, he continues to create powerful new platforms for change. He has founded the Love Matters Collaboration, a movement anchoring love as a predetermined way of being. He's launched The Awakening, a flagship transformational weekend designed to help people break through shame, judgment, and separation so they can live from love fully and freely. And he's also spearheading the Love Goes to Capital, a national initiative to send a copy of his book to every member of the U.S. Congress, inviting political leaders into a deeper conversation on compassion, humanity, and the power of love to guide public service. And this is super important as we go forward, I'm just going to say. And his book, Your Love Does Matter, A Journey into a New Consciousness and Expanding Your Love Footprint, is a distilled summary of all his life's work. The book offers a profound path to healing, forgiveness, loving freely and fully, and spiritual growth, helping each of us reclaim the truth that we are here to love. And today we're going to have fun exploring everything David has to offer. I want to encourage all of you to check out his website. And for those listening, I will spell it. It's Your Love Does Matter website. It's yourlovedoesmatter.com. So make sure to check that out. He's also on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And check out his book, Your Love Does Matter, A Journey into New Consciousness and Expanding Your Love Footprint. And encourage the Love Goes to the Capitol books to Congress because that is super needed. And you can also do private coaching with David. And David, thank you so much for being on today. I am so excited to talk about love today.
Wow,
And
great. Great. What a great introduction. Geez, thank you so much. Wonderful to
you,
be with you and everybody listening and watching.
oh, thank you. It is so awesome to have you on today. And I can't get into your story because how did you, I need to know, I need to know. How did you start going down the path of love as the answer to so much? I'm curious about that.
Well, okay, I'll take you way back. All right, I'm 75 years old now, so I'm going to take you all the way back till I was 4 years old. How about that?
Oh, and you don't look 75 at all.
All right. All right. Anyway, I was, as you said, I was in a small town in Pennsylvania, and my family, I was raised in a Christian family, and we went to church. And when I was 4 years old, I was taken to a candlelight service. Went to this little wood frame church, and there was a candlelight service. It was just beautiful in my little 4 year old eyes, right? The whole sanctuary was lit just by candles. But what I remember most is the whole service was just a artist painting a picture of Jesus on a velvet canvas. I don't know if you ever saw a painting on velvet background. Usually
The
you see them
Velvet
on the side of the
Elvis.
highway. They're pictures of tigers or Elvis Presley or something. This was
Yes.
this was a picture of Jesus on velvet. And I think it was the most, in my 4 year old eyes, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen, right?
Wow.
But the truth is, I think it was my first encounter with my own soul that night because I remember sitting there watching, awestruck. But I remember saying to myself, I love that much. As much as Jesus loves those children, I love that much. That's how much I love people. I think it was my first encounter with my own soul, actually. And that's when I was four. And but then life happened, right? Different events, and not too long thereafter, my dad turned very violent. I'm still not sure today exactly why, but my dad got very violent. So our family that I thought was based in love actually became a violent household. And then we moved away, my immediate family moved away from everybody else. And so family I thought mattered so much, I found out didn't matter that much. And then as a teenager, I started coming out as a gay man and was told that my love was not only unacceptable, it was inappropriate, right?
Mm.
And then, as a young professional, when I started being professional, I was kind of taught, well, you don't love as a professional. So, um, so by the time I was a young adult, the point is, this love that had been so important to me as a child was way in the background.
Mm.
Then I did my first transformational program ever in 1983. It was called the S
Well,
Training at that point, the S Training. And it was such an eye-opening, reawakening experience. On the last day of the program, I was in a New York City hotel ballroom with about 300 people. But on the last day, something happened in that room where it was, again, pure love. Like 300 people, total strangers from all walks of life, from all around the world. It was like the experience was, oh, this is how the world could be. People could be this respectful of each other. People could love each other this much. It was, again, it woke that back up in me. And then a few years later, I met a spiritual guru. Her name is Saima. That's her picture behind me, actually, Saima. And when I met Saima, it was Saima just touched my heart in a way. Saima gave me permission again to love. She she erased all my embarrassment about my love. She erased all my doubt about my love. She just opened my heart back up and gave me full permission to just love again. And that was the start down this new path. So then um, when I retired about 5 years ago, I was looking, okay, well, what's life going to be about now? Because I had been a special ed teacher, I'd led transformational programs myself for 35 years. I had worked for the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse, the Connecticut Justice for Children Collaboration. But it was like, okay, now what am I going to have the next 30 years of my life be about? And that's when I really resolved I'm going to have my life be about love prevailing as the preeminent way of being on the planet. Love's going to win on this planet, and I'm going to dedicate my life to that. And I'm serious. I'm not kidding about it. It's not like a slogan. I am out to have love win on this planet and really prevail as the preeminent way of being. So that's when I got busy. I wrote the book, Your Love Does Matter. I founded the Love Matters Collaboration and we're inviting people to join the Love Matters collaboration worldwide. When you join the collaboration, you don't pay a membership fee. There's no fee or anything. You sign a pledge to expand your love footprint. So
wow.
we're starting. I want this notion to catch hold around the world that we actually, as much as we have a carbon footprint, We have a love footprint.
Love
And
that.
every time we leave an interaction, whether it's a 30-second interaction with a clerk in a store or an hour lunch with our family or a whole day with our colleagues, every time we leave an interaction, we leave something behind. Do we leave behind righteousness or opinion?
Mm.
Maybe we leave behind indifference. Or do we, in fact, leave behind love, respect, compassion? And that's a question we can ask ourselves. What is our love footprint? And so that's what life is about now. So when people join the Love Matters collaboration, they don't pay a fee. They sign a pledge to ever expand their love footprint. So I'm out to get members from every country in the world this year so we can have this be a worldwide movement of expanding our love footprint.
I
There,
love that. I'm going to
70
help you do
years.
whatever I can.
That was 70 years summed up there.
I love that. And it's really going from where you came from to then finding that love and bringing it out there. And I agree, love is going to prevail. There's no stopping it.
Mhm, mhm.
Especially at this time, there is so much love pouring into this world, so many people focusing on love, and it's just nudging the others to help them look at love a little bit more.
Mhm, mhm. And I find that simple question, I'm really happy when when people feed back to me. My mom is 99 years old and she has a
Wow.
94-year-old friend that read my book. And then I was sitting talking with her and she says, "You won't believe what happened." She goes, "I was in the grocery store and I was reaching up to get something off a shelf and somebody banged me from behind with their cart." She goes, "I was about to turn around and give them a piece of my mind." She goes, "But as I was turning around, I thought, uh-oh, what about my love footprint?" And she said, "So
Ooh,
when I turned around, I didn't give them a piece of my mind. I actually just interacted with them, and it turned out to be a lovely interaction." So if I consider that a real victory, if somebody in a moment can ask themselves, "What's my love footprint going to be?" and have that be shape their behavior, that's a real victory for the world. So I'm out to have people really start asking themselves, "What's my love footprint going to be?"
I love that. I love that. This may be very good for people to think about when they're driving.
For sure. That's a good time to practice it. Exactly. And
Maybe
even
you
though
need
we
something to
may,
put in the car that says love footprint that they can hang in their car.
well, I also wrote a prayer of grace, and I have that's what I have on my dashboard, my prayer of grace. And it goes like this. It's a simple prayer that I offer to everybody to have become their prayer, which is simply this. It says, "May I use these arms to embrace the whole world. May I use these hands to heal all who suffer. May I use these eyes to see the divine within all people. May I use these ears to listen for the truth. May I use this mouth to create possibility, awareness, remembrance, devotion, and creation itself. May I use this heart to love without condition. May I use these feet to walk in the world and bestow grace on all. And may I use this whole being to anchor a dimension of love on the planet." That's my prayer of grace. I got it on my dashboard. It comes in really handy sometimes.
I like that because, we are human and things might irritate us sometimes. So it's just being aware that, okay, something's irritating me, but taking and changing your focus for a minute. And that's really what's making the change on the world, I feel, is so many people are changing their focus.
And that brings up an important thing. So, my irritation, I may not have a choice about. That's an emotion that comes and goes.
Right.
Okay. So, it's important that I think that as a humanity, we start relating to love not as an emotion. Oh, I feel love or I don't feel love, because that comes and goes. We don't have a say about that.
Right.
Or even a thought like, "Oh, I think loving thoughts towards that person." We don't really have a say about that either. Whatever thoughts come to our mind, come to our mind. And sometimes when somebody cuts us off on the highway, those are not loving thoughts we have. Okay. So we don't have a say about our emotions and we don't have a say about our thoughts. So instead of relating to love as a feeling or a thought pattern, relate to love as a way of being. Like, oh, I get to be a certain way. Like I can be generous or I can be stingy. I can be
Mm.
open, I can be guarded, I can be respectful, I can be disrespectful. When you relate to love as a way of being, you find out I have a total choice about that. I have a choice about the way I'm being, no matter what emotions I'm having, no matter what thoughts I'm having. That's where we find our power to love really, when we relate to it as a way of being that we have a choice about.
I love that because I really feel I'm resonating with what you're saying because I really feel a lot of people have always looked at love as an emotion instead of looking at what if it's our core being? What if it's the core of our soul is part of that love and we can tap into that more instead of looking at it at I love this person or love this person, then you get ticked off at them and now I don't love that person. But
Yes, and again, that all passes. We don't have a say about that. Emotions come and go,
yeah.
but it's like who we really are is constant, right? And what do we want to have there as a presence, no matter what's going on, no matter what circumstance we're in. And I think it's important to create that this is not a moralistic conversation, like, oh, we should be more loving, and it's not a Pollyannish conversation. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if we were all loving? This is really a conversation about our happiness as human beings, because if we observe ourselves carefully, we're only happy when we're loving. We're not happy when we're resenting. We're not happy when we're arguing. We're not happy when we're righteous. We're happy when we love. So this isn't a Pollyannish conversation. This is a conversation about our happiness. It's also a conversation about our effectiveness, because to be effective, to get things done in the world, we have to get things done with other people.
Yes.
And to get things done with other people, we have to be listened to. And to be listened to, we have to love. People don't listen to people that don't love them. I don't know about you. If I know somebody's not respecting me, it's hard to listen to them. So
Yeah.
our effectiveness with people, whether it's our children, even our teenage children, especially, or whether it's, somebody we work with, to be listened to, it requires that we're loving as a human being. That's where our effectiveness comes from. So this is not a conversation about being Pollyannish. This is about our effectiveness, getting things done with our life as well.
You know, that brings up a really important point because there are times you're going to be working with people that are challenging to you. Sometimes it's children, sometimes it's family members, coworkers. But if you can kind of switch your perspective to going to looking at that person, this is also a loving human being, and you're changing that perspective. Because honestly, I mean, like you said, somebody says something to you and you know they're coming from a place of they don't really care for you and they're kind of treating you treating you that way. You're not going to listen to what they say. And you look at when you were, like you said, when you're a teenager, when you're a kid, when your parents get really ticked at you, they're not really coming from a place of love at that point. And so you just kind of shut down.
And when I work with parents, I find it really important because a lot of times when parents work with their kids, they try to use logic, like, just
Mm,
tell their child just what makes sense. But if that logic is presented without the love, kids can't listen to it. So it becomes actually quite worthless. The love, you have to lead with the love. Lead with the love, then the logic, the advice, the guidance can follow. But you got to lead with the love. That comes for parents, that's for managers and executives, that's for politicians, that's for everybody.
I like that. And I like how you brought up the politicians at the end because not to get political or anything like that, but we're really, I feel, I want to know what you think. I feel we're really moving into a space where, as time goes on, politicians will be working more from their heart center, and it will be more for helping people and having people's best interest at heart. And I feel that's coming up, and I like how you are sending your book to Congress because my team is coming in. So for those who don't know, I have a team in the non-physical. One of the things they always told me when I was doing things, I'm like, I don't feel I made a difference with this person. And they always said, you're not you're not supposed to have an expectation of making a difference. You're just supposed to give the information and let it go where it does. And what they did is they showed me a picture of a knight in shining armor. And they're saying every time you say something, it's a chink in the armor. You're not meant to open up the whole armor. Sometimes you're just meant to be that chink in the armor. And I feel with your book, even though it's going in there, some people are taking it in and some it's the chink in the armor. And
Mhm.
it's a start.
Yeah, and I sent a message when I sent the book to every member of the US Congress and the Senate and the president and the vice president. And I sent a message with it again saying, again, this is not a moralistic message or a Pollyanna message. This is about your legacy as a leader. This is about real leadership.
Yes.
Leadership requires love. And this is about legacy. So, I sent that message with the book, and we're still opening up dialogues with people and out to, as you said, have it be a chink in that armor. But you know, the degree to which the the leadership is love based makes all the difference, whether it's in a corporate setting, a factory setting, in the home, in the Congress,
I love that. Love that. And in the schools. And
in the
that brings me
schools.
up to something. You were a special education teacher. What drew
Mhm.
you into that field?
Oh dear. What drew me into that field was this is way back a long time ago, and I was dating, and I wanted to date this girl named Sally, and Sally didn't want to date me. And she said, "But I'm volunteering at this place. If you want to go with me to volunteer, you can go with me." I had no idea where she was going. I had no idea which, but I just wanted to go with her. So I went. And it turned out to be a state facility for handicapped children, disabled children.
Oh,
And we walked in, and quite frankly, I was taken aback. I'd never seen anything like that before. These were severely, severely disabled children. And I first backed up because I'd never seen anything like it before. Then she was very smart, Sally was. She just went and scooped up in her arms this one little child named Diane and put Diane in my arms. And I just started crying. I got so moved. Still moves me. And that was it. That launched my whole career. That moment, it was like sent me down a path that I had certainly wasn't expecting. But it all started because I wanted to date Sally. How about that?
I think that's awesome. And I'm getting a little emotional myself because
Mhm.
um, one of the things, and I'm just getting a lot of emotion from the other side too,
Mhm.
one of the things that I've encountered is a lot of those that are special needs, special
Mhm.
education,
Mhm.
a lot of those has such big hearts,
Mhm.
and they're really here
Mhm.
to help us discover, man, didn't expect this, to help
Mhm.
us discover the love within ourselves. It's
Mhm.
kind of a mirror back, and they're just an open mirror sending that back to us.
And that brings up such an important thing too. You really appreciate it. It brings up the important thing is that we never really get love from the other person. In other
Mm,
words, if you love me and I'm cranky, I don't experience love, I experience crankiness. If you're loving me right now, and while you're loving me, I'm judgmental, I don't
mm,
experience love, I experience judgment. The
yes.
only time I experience love is when I'm being loving. So, what another person provides me is not love coming towards me.
Yeah.
What another person provides me is the opportunity to be loving. So, and that, by the way, gets the mystery out of a lot of struggle in romantic relationships because a lot of people go into romantic relationships thinking they're supposed to get love from the other person. No,
Yes.
the other person gives you a chance to be loving, which is when you're happy. That's the only time you're happy. So I perform weddings sometimes. So when I perform weddings, I put that right in the vows. I make sure that's part of the ceremony that they don't expect anything from the other person, that they know that the person is giving them a chance to be loving.
I
But like
love
you
that.
said, in this, the back to the first point, this special needs kids or anybody it just gives us when they give us that opportunity to open our hearts, that's a real gift. And by the way, people that are difficult to be with, people
Yeah.
that are, we find we don't like them, quote unquote, right? Give us the biggest opportunity. A polite clerk in a store is an opportunity to be polite back. But a rude clerk in a store, that's an opportunity to be really generous. A great
Yeah.
boss is an opportunity to be great back, but a difficult boss is an opportunity to be a really big person. So you'll find that the more difficult another person is, the bigger we get to be. So I never bemoan who's in my life. I see them as the opportunity to be loving, and I appreciate that gift they give me, whoever's there.
I love that because, this is real life. We're all real. There are challenging people out there, some more challenging than others. And to look at them differently, it's really changing the perspective to say, okay, I'm given this really challenging person. How much love can I give them?
Hmm.
And what a difference it makes because, I've discovered along the way, not always, but a lot of those very challenging people have really never experienced love themselves,
Hmm.
and they have a difficult time receiving love also.
Hmm. And then that's, what am I giving them to interact with? So if I give them my opinion, then they interact with my opinion. But if I give them my love, that's what they interact with.
Yes.
And so when you give them love to interact with, how people behave, how people interact with love is different than how they interact with judgment. How people interact with being judged is they defend themselves. How people interact with love is eventually they say thank you. So
Mm.
it also, is for for the person loving, it's being cognizant of what am I giving them to interact with, and I can be responsible then for how they're interacting with me.
That's something so big right there. And it's realizing a lot of people do get defensive,
Hmm.
and it's understanding where that defensiveness may be coming from and
Hmm.
understanding that they may have been hurt in some point. So their
Hmm.
their survival mechanism is keep this defense around them, the defensive walls all the time, because
Hmm.
that's the way they survive. And when you kind of meet that wall instead of with arrows, instead of with love, boy, what a difference it can make.
Hmm. It sure does. It sure does. And I never tell people they should be more loving, by the way. Never, never. It's not like I would never say to somebody, you should be more loving. No, I assert that when people are free, when we're free as human beings, we naturally love.
Yeah.
So if somebody's got their heart closed, it's not like, okay, be more loving. No, it's like, what had you close your heart? Was it a opinion? Was it a judgment? Was it a resentment? Was it fear? Something had you close your heart. When we put that aside, then I find people naturally love. So the job is never to try to be more loving. The job is to keep ourselves free. I assert when we're free, we love. So keep ourselves free. Free from what? Resentments, judgments, opinions, fear. Keep ourselves free, and the love flows.
And that brings up another really big point because there's a lot of people, I mean, most people listening to what we're discussing that will be listening to this. A lot of these people are really doing a self-examination and trying to get themselves feeling better, feeling that personal freedom so they can love and be happy. And a lot of
Mhm.
people are looking for happiness. And I like how you kind of break it down to say, you're not going to get it from out here. It starts in here.
Mhm.
And how did you, because you said you've had a difficult childhood you've had challenges as you've grown up. How did you come to go, oh, it starts with me. I'm the one that needs to change.
I think that was really in the process of life itself. I just caught it one day. Like I caught myself being cold to someone
Mm.
and really like not, just like miserable, quite frankly. And then caught myself switching it and actually becoming compassionate with them and saw how immediately my enjoyment of myself, being myself, switched, like in the same exact moment. And I realized they hadn't changed a bit. There was nothing about them that had altered. The only thing that had altered was the way I was being and my experience of life, my experience of being myself altered in that exact same moment. That was like a aha discovery. Wait a minute. My experience of life, my experience of being me is tied to the way I be. It's not tied to how everybody else is. That was a real aha moment, and I became just a guiding principle then.
That's something really important for people. I think awesome for people to hear is you are the one in control. You are the one guiding your own ship.
Especially, let's just go back to for a minute to how little control we have over our emotions.
Hmm.
They come and they go. I can be in the grocery store just happy as a clam, and then somebody in front of me in line at the checkout, their credit card gets denied, and all of a sudden I'm irritated. Right? That's how vulnerable we are to life, that our emotions can change, our mood can change in a split second, and we don't have any say over it, right?
Yes.
And I certainly don't have any say over my thoughts. Like, thoughts come and go, and most nights at midnight, I have the weirdest thought called, gotta have pizza, right? Where's that thought come from? Pizza, gotta have it, right? Where's that thought come from? I don't know. So when I confront, all silliness aside, how little say I have over emotions and thoughts, but boy, do I have total say about the way I'm being, no matter what emotions or thoughts I'm having. I've discovered, if you watch, when we're tired, for instance, can we be
Mm.
cranky? Sure. When we're tired, could we be argumentative? Absolutely. When we're tired, could we be quiet? Yeah. When we're tired, could we be silly? Yeah. When we're tired, could we even be tender? Well, yes, we could. How about when I'm angry? When I'm angry, can I be argumentative? Sure. When I'm angry, can I also be tender? Yeah, we can, can't we? Now, most of us have experienced that, especially with young children or pets. So it seems easier than with adults for some reason.
Yeah.
But, sometimes, I have a new puppy, and, she chewed something up the other day, and, my emotion was irritation, but I found myself being very tender with her.
Yes.
Oh, so I can be irritated. I can have an experience of irritation and be tender at the same time. That's a great discovery. No matter
Mm.
what mood I'm in, no matter what emotion I'm having, no matter what thought I'm having, I still have a choice about the way I interact with life and people. That's a
You
good
know,
discovery.
that's something so cool is knowing you still have a choice. Because a
Hmm.
lot of times I think so many people, I included, didn't think I had a choice.
Hmm. Hmm.
And to realize you always have a choice,
Hmm.
that's huge.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it, that if you're irritated, doesn't it make sense to be cranky? I mean, it just seems to make sense, but maybe not.
Right.
Maybe it's just an automatic kind of default behavior, but we actually do, even when we're irritated or angry, we actually have a choice. Yeah, that's really good to find out.
And that's something I think for people to just keep that always in mind because a lot of people feel they're in situations where they don't have a choice to get out of them. And that kind of brings me a little bit into you've worked with a lot of the abused children, things like that. What brought you into that and how did that evolve for you?
Well, what we brought me, I told you about my time with Sally, right? Got me working in special ed, but then I worked with special ed kids for a while, and I realized, wow, if you don't support their entire family,
Mm,
it's kind of like a drop of water in the desert. So I started working with families as a whole. And then as I started working with families, it's like, wow, if you don't have community services for these families, you know, so I got into community work and started at the community level and the state level in Connecticut. And then it got into, okay, well, yeah, but a lot of this is decided nationally. So that's when I got into national advocacy and went and became a director of the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse. And saw that, like, okay, and then we did it. Like, we really, at that point, this is way back in the late 70s, early 80s. And the laws still weren't passed. There weren't laws in this country to protect kids from child abuse. So we literally went state by state and worked with every state to set up what was called a child abuse prevention code, where every state had, the laws to protect kids from child abuse and set up protected money to prevent child abuse. We got laws passed in every state, got nonprofit organizations set up in every state. So I really saw you could take on something like that at a national, worldwide level even, and just if you got people, if you gave people a way to make a difference, they would. And that's why I'm
Mhm.
starting the movement for having a love footprint.
I love that. And it's really letting people know you can do it. You can
Mhm.
make a difference because a lot of people are going, I'm just one person. I can't make a difference. I don't have the knowledge. I don't know how to navigate it. I don't know what to do. And for you, you're just this big beacon sitting out there going, you always have a choice. Any person can make a difference. And you've made such a huge difference for so many people and the children, the amount of children you've helped. And that's one thing I'm pretty passionate about is helping children, helping them
Mhm.
have a healthy environment to grow up in
Mhm.
and being there, the support for the children so that they can make educated choices as they get older and they're not
Mhm.
so bogged down with so much that's there.
Yes.
And your love footprint, I feel you've been doing a love footprint for your whole life.
It's now conscious though, right? Which is different, right?
Right.
It's now like, oh, I'm consciously choosing love. In fact, I find it very useful as I create my days in the mornings. I'm thinking, okay, what do I have to do today? Is I think ahead to the occasions and who I'm going to interact with, and I plan ahead for the love footprint I want to leave. Like when I'm done with that, how do I want to leave that person? And I plan ahead the day based on what love footprint do I want to leave. And then when I walk out, I give myself a little report card, from 0 to 5.
Oh.
I rank myself. How'd I do? And I find that very useful. It has me be consciously leaving a love footprint for the day.
That's an interesting concept where you're being very, very conscious. I love the
Mhm.
teacher part of you coming out, giving you a report card.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And sometimes, like we said, sometimes I fail miserably. I just had this just stupidest interaction with my dry cleaner of all people about a couple months ago, where I started arguing with my dry cleaner over the shirts. Now, can you imagine, like, oh my, and I can't tell you how right I was. I was sure I was right. Like, I was just right. I discovered again. We've never been right. Nobody's ever right. I've never been right in my whole life. I've never been wrong, and neither of you. Never has anybody been right or wrong. We all have views of life. Oh, we each have views of life, and nobody has the same view. Every view is
Yes.
different. If you're in front of my house and I'm in back of my house, we have different views. To argue which is the right view makes no sense. Just, oh, we have different views of life. So, but the good thing about when you notice you failed, like I realized I started arguing with my dry cleaner. I walked out the door fairly righteously, got in my car and went, oh, that you get a 0 on this one, buddy. So I went back in, said I was cleaned it up, said I was sorry. The good news is, even if we blow it, we can correct it in a moment. So, I just went back in, got it corrected, and took about a minute to get the whole thing corrected and get love present again. So,
But what a great example though, because we're all human. We're here on a human world. We're here on this trek together. But to know, yeah, sometimes maybe didn't do our stellar performance that day, you know?
sometimes that's right.
But to
That's right.
give yourself that grace, that choice to
Hmm.
go, it's okay. I can fix it. I can do something. I can go back. I can talk to someone. To give
Hmm.
yourself that choice instead of having to be, I am right, they are wrong, having that black and white there. I think that is the key to so much because
Hmm.
there's a lot of division, right and wrong right now. But we came to this earth to have differing opinions and differing viewpoints and being able to interact with people that are different and
Isn't
enjoy
that isn't that
change.
radical to get though that we've never been right? We've never been right. Oh, I've never been right. I've had my views, and everybody else has had their views. And argue which view is the right one makes no sense. Oh, I've never been right. That's radical. But the
It's
good news
radical and
is,
humbling.
yeah, I've never been wrong either. That's one of the better news. But
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. It's being a little more lighthearted with all of this
Mhm.
because we come down so hard on ourselves so many times. I s-
Well,
and
self-love.
yes.
Self-love is as critical as love of another. And it's the same thing. If our heart closes to ourselves, it's not like some people say, I gotta love myself more. No, it's what closed your heart to yourself in the first place. Some judgment, some opinion. And
Yeah.
judgments and opinions are never true. Judgments and
Mm,
opinions are views. They're never true. So to be able to put them aside, I find it two useful practices. One is if I'm stuck with a judgment or opinion about something or resentment, one practice is I literally hold up my hands in front of me and imagine that I'm holding the resentment or holding the person I'm resenting.
mm,
And then I slowly bring it to my heart. And that's an amazingly simple practice. I learned that
mm.
from Simon, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
And when you bring something to the heart, resentment, anger, judgment literally dissolves. It's amazing. It's such a
Wow.
simple practice, but it works. I'm feeling resentment. All right, let me hold it in my hands, bring it to my heart. It dissolves. That's one.
Mm,
And the other
love
thing
that.
I discovered is I can put things aside. Like I have my phone here. Right now, my phone's in front of me. And, right now, my phone's even blocking being able to see you. It's just in the way. What do I do with it? Do I fight it? No, that doesn't help. Do I deny that it's there? No, that doesn't help. Oh, what can I do with it? I can put it aside. That's
Mm,
all. It's still there. I don't have to fight it. I don't have to destroy it. I can put it aside. I practice that with physical objects so that when it comes time to put emotions aside or put
mm,
views aside, oh, we can put them aside. We don't have to fight them. We don't have to ignore them. We can just put them there. If we want them back, we can pick it up in a moment's notice.
yes.
But so that practice of bringing things to the heart or the practice of putting things aside, it's very useful in our relationship with ourselves. I'm going to put aside my opinion of myself, or I'm going to take my resentment of myself and bring it to my heart and let it dissolve. Either of those two practices is very powerful. And self-love is as critical as any other love, that's for sure.
No, self-love, I think, is a huge mountain sometimes to climb at this point because there's so many people that don't have love for themselves and
Mhm.
don't know how to find the love for themselves.
Mhm.
Is that
And
also
again, I'd
some of
say it
what you
just a,
do?
if I could, I'd say just a
Yep.
little bit differently. It's not finding the love for oneself, it's finding what blocked the love and getting
Mm,
that out of the way, and then the love flows. You don't
love that.
have to find the love, it's there. It's just something's in the way. Find out what's in the way, get that out of the way, and then the love flows.
That's very true. And I think an easier pill to swallow, let's say,
Mhm.
of people knowing it's already there, I've just got to move what's blocking it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's something you've had. I mean, you've had a lot of let's just say, well, you had a lot of opportunities to block your own heart with
Mhm.
growing up and
Mhm.
with your life, with your father, and then also coming out as gay. And I'm
Mhm.
at that point wasn't so accepted as it is today. So I'm sure
It
it was a
sure
lot
wasn't.
more
That's right.
difficult.
It sure wasn't. That's right. Mhm.
And as you started going through this, I've, I'm just gonna say, I feel your journey and everything you've experienced has really made you a much more loving person because of it. And it's helped, I know it's helped so many people, and it's helping you to also now bring in the love footprint. Did you ever look back on your life and say, I wish it would have been different, or I wish I could have handled it differently, or it would have been completely different? I should say, I'm going to back that up. Do you feel if your life would have been different, you would have been where you are now?
Who know? I mean, I don't know, right? But certainly our the things we encounter over life shape us. How we respond to them shape us. So, my dad's violence, of course, I wish it had never happened, and
Right.
and it did, and nothing I can do about that now. What I can do now, my dad's deceased, but even with him being deceased, I go out of my way to express love to him and forgiveness to him. Forgiveness, by the way, let's touch on that for a moment.
Yes.
People have difficulty forgiving because they have forgiveness associated with condoning. Like if I forgive you, I condone what you
Yes.
did, or if I forgive you, I give you permission to do it again. No, forgiveness is none of that. Forgiveness is our choice about am I going to lead a resentful life or a loving life? That's simple. Okay, you did something. My dad got violent. Okay, he did that. I can't change that. That was he did that. Now, I have a choice. Am I going to spend my life resenting him, or am I going to spend my life being compassionate and giving him my love, bestowing grace on him and now his soul? It's my life. And I notice I am not interested in a resentful life. It is no fun.
Yes.
So forgiveness is actually a gift we give ourselves to lead a life where we are open-hearted no matter what somebody did or does. It's our choice about our life. So it's not even for the other person. So for people to free forgiveness up from any notion like, oh, it approves of what they did or it gives them permission to again. No, that's not the case at all. It's our choice about the life we live.
I think that's something really important for people to hear because I hear people like, oh, if I forgive them, it just lets them go, lets them off the hook. And that's not it.
Mhm.
It's releasing yourself and releasing yourself from all of that resentment. Because honestly, having having to experience abuse like you did, it can't be let go as
Mhm.
far as like
Mhm.
letting the person off the hook, oh, that was okay, they did that. It's not okay. It's never
No.
okay.
Mhm.
Never okay.
Mhm.
But that forgiveness is so healing for you and for others. I think it's important for people to hear that. You're not doing the forgiveness for them, you're doing it for you.
Mhm. Love and tolerance are not the same thing.
Mm,
I can love and be intolerant of the behavior, that's for sure. So
yes,
I can love you and not tolerate the behavior. Okay, love and tolerance are two very different things.
absolutely. And that's where you've been starting the Love Footprint. So tell me a little bit more on the Love Footprint. How does that work when people join? What happens? What happens? What's the first you
It's
said
so
they need to just
simple.
sign up. You go through it.
It's so simple. It's just, if people went to my website, yourlovedoesmatter.com, which you gave them, they'll see, become a member of the Love Matters collaboration. And again, there's not a fee. There'll never be a fee for that. But when they say, yes, I'll be a member, it says, okay, here's the pledge. I pledge to ever expand my love footprint. Wherever I go, whoever I'm with, I pledge to ever expand my love footprint. And that again puts it in people's awareness. So, it becomes then a question like my mom's 94-year-old friend, like she asked herself in a moment of turning around, like literally she had what, 2 seconds to turn around and it was going to go one way or the other. And that question came to mind. What's my love footprint going to be? And that determined how this whole situation went. That's the whole point of signing a pledge. It puts you in your awareness, puts your love footprint in your awareness, and gives you that moment of choice in the heat of the battle, so to speak.
And we definitely have heats of the battle at
Yes.
times.
Hmm.
But I think that's so key for people just to have the awareness, just to keep it in the forefront because a lot of times we work on something and then we just kind of forget about it, you put it in the
Hmm.
back and this
Hmm.
way it's always in the forefront. And that's what I feel we need right now. It's just I just feel a lot of consciousness is not so much of you're expanding, you're understanding more about yourself, but I feel it's also just being conscious of, and aware of every moment you're in and paying attention to your thoughts.
Hmm.
Like you said, you can't control those thoughts coming in. Like you said, I need a pizza. You can't control that, but you can control how you react to it
Hmm.
can
That's right.
control where you take it from there. And
Hmm.
that's something, and I'm sure as you've gone through your own healing and going through with the aspects of your dad and just challenging people in life, sometimes it's the drive home. As
Hmm.
you're going through that, as you're being more conscious of it, I'm sure it's made a big difference in your life. Like, say, if you look at yourself now versus 20 years ago, do you feel you're being a lot more conscious now of who you are and putting that love out there than what you were when you were younger?
Oh, absolutely. It's, ever expanding. And, part of that too is, just being in, even having this conversation today. It's like every time we have the conversation, we get more quote unquote conscious of it.
Yes.
So, so all the, you know, connecting with all, that's why I'm so committed that we can make this a grassroots movement. People can,
Yes.
we have, we're not alone in this, that there's a world of people out there ready to bring love to the planet. And let's talk about it with each other and create it with each other.
Absolutely. I'm going to be sharing the heck out of it. I hope all of you listening and watching do the same. And then you've got your book, Your Love Does Matter, A Journey into New Consciousness and Expanding Your Love Footprint. What what do you cover in there and what drew you to actually create the book?
It's very important. I was wanted to write the book and was very aware of something, which is, you can read a book on being effective and not end up effective. You
Right.
can read a book on leadership and not end up a leader. So I was
Yes.
unwilling to write a book on love, quote unquote, and have people read it and put it down and not have it make a difference for them. So I wanted to write a book which didn't talk about love, but literally opened the door for people to be their loving self. Like literally opened that door for people, disappeared those barriers I talked about for people.
Mm.
Had gave them a way to clear out what had them close their hearts in the first place. And as they read the book, I walk them through that process. So I was very hungry to write a book that was not theoretical, but a book that literally opened the door for people in opening their hearts. So that was one thing. And then I struggled with the writing style of it for a bit. I wrote, and wrote and wasn't quite satisfied. And then I got inspired by Rumi, the poet Rumi. I got
Yes.
inspired by Rumi. I was reading Rumi and I was reading his writing was like a love letter. Everything was like a love letter,
Mm.
right?
Love
And
that.
all of a sudden I go, that's how I want to write this book. It's a love letter to whoever reads it. So I literally put in the introduction, I'm going to call you, whoever's reading this book, I'm going to call you my beloved. So get used to it because as we go through the book, I'll go, my beloved. So I wrote the whole book as a love letter to whoever reads it, and it made me so happy. And like
Oh,
I just got thrilled then with how it turned out. So it's written as a love letter and not theoretical. It's written as a book that really opens people's hearts. So,
I love that part of it because I've seen people where some people haven't had a hug in years. They
hmm
haven't had people that tell them they love them. And
hmm
and not to just, and my team is saying, many people say the word love, but they really don't mean it. It's just a word they say. But to
hmm
actually feel love from someone when they say they love them, so many people haven't experienced that or
hmm
haven't experienced it in a very long time. And I love the
hmm
fact that your book is written that way for these people to receive something where somebody loves them unconditionally. I
hmm
think that's
hmm
the big thing. You are very unconditional on your
Well,
love.
that's what I call grace. Grace is love that you don't make somebody deserve and love that will never be taken away no matter what happens. And the thing I think is great is, I used to think bestowing grace was reserved for great religious leaders and
Right.
then I realized, no, we can all bestow grace on us. It's simple. A simple way to say it is just wish people well. Like,
Mm.
I wish people well. I wish them health. I wish them happiness. I wish people prosperity. I wish people success. Just wishing people well is a simple way to say bestow grace on people. And I found out we can all bestow grace on each other.
That's important because there's a lot of people out there, just going to say right now, where they're not wishing people well on that
hmm
level.
hmm
But
hmm
if you're seeing it, is there ways, like even as you're experiencing it, watching it, seeing it on feeds or whatever, to allow that grace to other people also? Is that something you encourage others to do or you do yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you made the point earlier. I'm beginning to see more and more of it in the world. Now, it stands in contrast to a lot of the vitriol we see in the world at the same time, right?
Right.
But the vitriol or the animosity for me doesn't invalidate the love.
Mm.
It just tells me where to go to work, right? Oh, there's the anger. Okay, well, I guess that's where the love is needed. So it doesn't invalidate my commitment to love. It just tells me where I'm needed. And it points out, oh, that's in contrast to the love, doesn't
Mhm.
invalidate the love. It just points out that, oh, love exists as a possibility I can bring there. So I'm I'm not, I don't enjoy the vitriol. Nobody does,
Right.
but it doesn't invalidate me in any way. It's like, okay, go there. That's where I'm needed. So let's go there and bring the love.
I think that's really important to focus on it, to see it, look at it as an opportunity of where to focus the love and not look at it as there's such big disparity. There is, but
Mhm.
it's an opportunity to focus.
That's why I started the project, Love Goes to the Capitol. So again, I sent my book to every member of Congress, but also in Pennsylvania, we're going to start soon a project where going to the state capital, Harrisburg in Pennsylvania, and I'm organizing a group of people to go to the state capitol once a week for a year, and every week do an act of love. That's it. No politics.
Wow.
So the first week, I do quite a bit of work with some people that were formerly incarcerated. They're just out of prison. So I do work to support people in entering the community again after they leave prison. So the first week, we're going to take a group of the formerly incarcerated people up, and they're going to deliver an orchid to every legislator. And the week
Oh,
after that, we're going to take a group of trans teenagers up, and they're just going to open the doors for legislators. No political talk, just graciously opening doors as legislators come and go. Next week, we're going to take a group of moms on food assistance up, and they can deliver a letter of acknowledgement to every legislator. So
wow.
we're planning out a year where we go once a week for a year to the Capitol and do nothing but express love, and it's called Love Goes Capital. And I'm committed that if we do that for a year, it can alter the environment at the Capitol. And I'm hoping that people in other states pick up that idea and run with it in their own states too.
I love that idea. That's awesome. And I mean, people can do that even on their own personal level of,
Sure.
I'm going to do
Mhm.
show love every week to someplace in a town or something like
Yeah.
that. There's
Yeah.
it's a beautiful
It
way.
could be love goes to my son's bedroom, right? Like, right? Could be like,
True.
right, where am I sending love today? Right. So
Absolutely. And that's true. Is also, like you said, sometimes it's family members that can be challenging at times. And it's
mhm,
like, oh, every week I'm going to send love there. Just to have
mhm,
that awareness, what a difference
mhm,
it makes. Because,
mhm,
a lot of people look at there's everything going on out here, there's the big world stuff. But a lot of people are affected every day on the relationships around them. And to send that love to themselves, that's
mhm.
huge.
What's cool too is I found out it has me not miss people. Like I have
Mm.
24-year-old twin grandchildren, right? And they live in
Well,
Connecticut and I live in Pennsylvania. And it's a 5-hour drive. And like I was missing them. Like, oh, I want to be them. I want them to come visit me. I want to go visit them. I was missing them. And then I realized, oh no, I can love them. So I send them almost a daily text, right? Just expecting no response, just like thinking of you, sending you love, loving you, just a short, like 3 to 5 word text. But as I send it every day and express my love to them, I don't miss them. So it takes the missing out of, even if we're not with somebody, expressing our love. It gives me the experience of being with them, even if I'm not physically with them, I'm with them, and the missing isn't there.
I love that. And that's something, for those of you I do work in energy fields and things like that, and you're tapping into that energy field that people can feel, you can feel that it's going back and forth, and people are becoming more and more aware of actual energy that surrounds us and that we work within. And like you said, the heart energy itself is
Yeah.
so huge and so powerful. I think we're just starting to tap into the possibilities of the heart energy alone. And that's
Well,
something you're
my
helping with.
body may be here in Pennsylvania. My love as an energy can be everywhere all the
Yeah.
time, all at once. And they're beginning to measure it. I think there's a group
Yes.
called Heart Math Institute. They're like
Yes.
beginning to measure it. Like, oh, I sit in my room loving, and my neighbor a mile down the road, there's an impact. They're beginning to measure how that works.
Yes,
So,
and it's awesome to see
mhm.
this the scientific part of it behind it so people
Yeah.
can see the physical that's really there.
Yeah, so my body may only be able to be in one place at one time, but my energy can sure pervade the universe here.
Oh, and it's absolutely pervading the universe with
Mhm.
everything you've been
Mhm.
doing. I
Mhm.
think it's amazing. And do you also do private coaching also?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
How does
do.
that work?
It's really interesting. I'm thinking of one client in particular that uh, I learned a lot with because this person, when I first started working with them, I had so much wisdom to offer them, of course. Oh my gosh. You know, and they were taking none of it. It was like, they were struggling with some things, and I'd give them some just like gem of advice, right? And they would like have nothing to do with it, right? And I'm thinking, geez, like they're not taking any advice. And then I realized, oh, that's not my job with them. My job is to love them,
Mm,
period. And I actually felt bad. It was a young person, so their parent was paying me for the fee, right? And I called the parent and I said, you can choose to stop paying me if you like, because I'm not going to give your child any coaching, any advice. I'm going to love them. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to love them, love them, love them, period. I may not give them one piece of advice, not even one. So I completely, it took me a while to adjust because the next time the person came, I love them, but then I tried to sneak in a piece of advice. And as soon as I did, they spit it right back at me, like, no, not interested, right? So I finally completely surrendered, love them only. And I'm telling you, they are thriving.
mm.
I'm like so moved by the life they're now living. Like they hadn't been happy in years. They're now happy. They're successful at work. And I give them no advice at all. I just love them. And so I learned a lot from that particular client. Um, and uh, so, yes, I enjoy working individually with people as well.
I love that. Do you usually do like phone or Zoom or how does that work for you?
Either way or in person, I'll do
Yeah.
anything, right? If
Okay.
it's in person, I love that, right?
Yeah.
And if not, I'll do it Zoom for sure. I learned way back when everybody else did that we have to be able to accomplish as much on Zoom as we do in person. So,
That is true. And I just want to say when you were saying about loving someone and how you tried to sneak something in, my team my team gave me an image of like when you have to take your pet to the vet. You're loving them, you're doing everything good for them, so you're gonna put them take them to the vet and they're like having none of it. When you're
exactly.
and you get them there.
See if I can sneak in the rabies shot.
Yeah. They won't
That's
know. And they're having
exactly.
none of it. But I love what you're doing. I love the difference you're making. And I know you're making such an impact around the world. And I'm excited to be a part of this. And thank you for reaching out and being part of this show because when I saw it's all about love, man, do we need it today?
Awesome. It's our privilege, isn't it? Awesome.
Oh,
Thank you so much for this
absolutely.
conversation. It's been wonderful to be with you.
Oh, you are so welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close today? I know I want to get you out of here on time, so.
Expand our love footprint. It's like that's something that every single one of us doesn't cost us a penny, doesn't take anything. We're gonna go through the day anyway. So at the end of the day, we might as well have left a great love footprint.
I love that. I love that. I know you've left an amazing love footprint. And I know anybody listening, now they can leave their own. And
Mhm.
I also want to encourage people, check out your website. Again, it's yourlovedoesmatter.com. I encourage you go sign the pledge, have that out there,
Mhm.
and then check out on also LinkedIn, Instagram,
Mhm.
Facebook, YouTube, and your book. Your Love Does Matter, a journey to new consciousness and expanding your love footprint. We
Mhm.
all need to expand our love
Mhm.
footprint
Right.
because I know anybody listening here, they're here for a reason.
Mhm.
Expand what you're already doing. And how is can people, is there a way people can help you with the Love Goes to the Capitol Books of the Congress, or have you distributed?
Uh-huh. There's a way people could contribute just $20 to send a copy of the book. That's also on that website. There's also, I'm pleased to offer some free, like I lead guided meditations, so people can hear recordings of meditations I've led on the website for free. So there's, I think there's a lot there for people I trust that they can really benefit from.
Absolutely. I encourage
Mhm.
all of you to go on his website, look around, have some fun, enjoy finding all the little nuggets he has everywhere.
Mhm. I
And
have a
then,
new course I'm offering called The Awakening, which is I'm doing an
oh,
in-person 3-day program that I'm loving. It's where the world of transformation and the world of spiritual awakening cross paths. There's a place right there that's oh my gosh, I'm so happy with what we're able to do in The Awakening.
that sounds amazing. And when is that going to be?
We're doing that 10 times this year around the United States and once in Cabo, Mexico on the beach and once on a cruise ship. So we're doing it 10 times
Wow.
this year. So all that's on the website as well.
Perfect. Everybody's got to definitely go on and check it out. See if something is close to you, check it out, or take a nice trip and enjoy
I
it.
know.
Well, and again, you also have the private sessions. Check that out on David's website. You have so much to offer, and I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your heart and your love today. I appreciate it so much, David. And I also want to encourage everyone here, if you haven't seen it, make sure to watch the next episodes of Edge Talk Radio. They're on the first and third Wednesdays of the month at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And those are on, you can find them on Facebook and on YouTube on my channel or Edge Magazine's channel. So if you've missed any of the past episodes, pop in there, and they're also available as downloadable podcasts. So make sure to check all of that. And again, David, I want to thank you so much for being here. And I want to thank all of you listening. Thank you all for listening, expanding, and amplifying our universe together. Have an absolutely amazing day.